Hello, this is Danny from PICO. MicroWar is a great example of all the different features we have available in our PICO Unity SDK. In the first video from our MicroWar Deep Dive series, we'll be going over controls. In MicroWar, you're able to control the tank by grabbing with your controllers, grab the tank, use your left hand to move the tank, then you'll be having your right hand to control the turret and trigger for fire. But what you can also do is use hand tracking, and then you'll do a left hand to pinch, allow you to have a little joystick to kind of visually see which way you kind of go, allow you to move the tank with the left pinch, or you could do a pinch or a grab. And then for the right hand, you can do the same pinch action here, and this will allow you to trigger the tank shooting action. Project I'll go over in the hierarchy where everything is, then I'll go over the difference between the left controller and left hand for controls, then for shooting, right controller and the right hand. Then what's coming up next. Requirements for this project. This is on our GitHub. I'm using OS 5.9 in my device. Unity Integration SDK 2.5, XR Toolkit 2.4, and I'm using Unity 2021.3. All right, this is the main theme for MicroWar. So we have the XR origin here, and inside that you have the left and right controllers. Main ones here are the XR controller action and then the direct interactor. With the direct interactor and the script on this little guy right here, you're able to grab these and interact with it. You're able to kind of grab it. Once you grab it, you're able to select it and then drop it into the area. Once you drop it into the area to start the game, the movement player and movement tank shooting player script will come into motion or come into action. So let's take a look at tank movement. So here for the left hand, if you are just using your controller, here you're with the left hand, you're grabbing the left controller for movement here. You're setting the devices for the left controller. And then here we're going to retrieving the 2D axis with this line here. Once you have the 2D axis, and you'll go down here, and here we will calculate the look direction, the look rotation, and the step here, and then do a rotation depending on look rotation, the step here. And this will give you a rotation and a movement, and then this will apply it to when you're using the left joystick here. Then an update here, let's comment this out so we can see this a little bit better. And here, if we're doing the same exact thing, but we're with hand tracking, we need to check first if we're actually pinching. So this pinch strength is actually from our PXR hands. In XR origin here, you have the left hand and the right hand, and you'll have the PXR hand. This is our prefab that we actually provide for you, that in our resource folder prefabs, and this is our skeleton driver, you would say, for the hands for hand tracking. And inside this script, you're able to have a pinch boolean that tells you the pinch strength and if you're actually pinching. So the pinch is your thumb and index. Okay, that's where we have our hand here, and then the pinch strength. So if the left hand is pinching, where you have your thumb and index, so you can, there's two ways you can do pinch. You can just do a regular pinch with your index, but you can actually do a fist in the air, and this will also trigger this as well. This will show the UI. You see a little joystick that kind of pop up there, and then depending on how you move, we will calculate the direction you're going, and we'll add it to this direction here for the axis 2D and the X and the Y, and then we'll apply this to the joystick, so you can actually see the joystick moving. But how you actually move, we take these data of how you're actually moving while you have that left hand pinch here, and then we'll apply it down right at the bottom here, and then you'll get this look direction, look rotation, and then we'll put into your movement value. So in the end, how it just depends on how we are adding the axis 2D X and the Y value. So both the controller and the hand tracking for the left hand is how you're trying to calculate these two values here, and then you eventually are going to use that for look direction, look rotation, and then apply it for your movement. And then for your player shooting, and this is what your right hand or right controller will be taking care of. So tank shooting. Now we have a tank shooting script. We have, for the right controller, grabbing that here. And then we will try to get the features, or primary 2D axis is basically as you are moving the joystick, try and get that value. Then we'll apply that value here into the look directions, look rotation here. This will actually just rotate and allow you to move your turret in a specific direction. If you need to, you can actually press the joystick down. This will reset your view. And then when you're ready, you will press the trigger button, and then this will do the trigger state. And then depending on the specific value of the trigger state, you'll come down here, and these are specific scenarios you need to be looking out for. Fire button is held, fire button isn't launched yet. These are just covering the different scenarios for launching. As you can see, our launching area, you can actually launch at different points of it to fire faster, fire shorter, fire longer. Comment this out so you can see this better. Then for hand tracking, so this is for the controller for the trigger state. In hand tracking, we'll do the same thing, but we'll have our trigger will be, instead of the right trigger button here, we're doing the pinch strength here. And this will also set our trigger state for firing as well. And then we'll use this and go down here and we'll do the fire thing. And this will go through and actually fire the bullet and instantiate it. And add some move velocity to the shell, etc., etc. Then the last piece is here when you're actually selecting here at this point, and you have hand tracking. We have the MicroWar hand interactor here. And this will allow you to grab your objects here. So if you hand is over one of the tanks, you're able to pinch it and grab it. It moves your hand, and then you're able to go over and you let go, and it'll drop in, and you'll release your tank and are able to select it. That was our first video in MicroWar Github series. Next, coming up, we're going over platform services and multiplayer. Stay tuned.